Welcome back to Afternoon Live. Our next guest says that we must learn to value opposing viewpoints in order to open our minds to possibilities and for progress to be made. Here to share more, we welcome the author of Hope for a New Era, Cynthia Rivard. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you. It's a delight to meet you and be able to share a little bit. Thanks
Yeah,
for
we're
having
looking
me.
forward to it. Well, let's start with this idea that I think a lot of us maybe suffer from the same affliction that we want to be right all the time, and that can stop us from hearing new ideas.
Yes, it can. And this is actually one of our survival instincts, old instinctual programming to fight for what we believe in. And awareness is the first step, just being aware that when you fight for your ideas, you're shutting down communication. You're not convincing anyone of anything. The only way to create progress is to be able to listen to each other. And when we fight, nobody's going to listen.
There you go. So you've got some strategies for us that we can implement in our own lives to hopefully do this a better way, starting with kind of meeting people where they're at and being curious and just asking questions sometimes.
Absolutely. Yeah, be curious. The one major misconception about, listening to other perspectives is that, in order to understand, you have to believe it. You have to side with them. And that's not true. You can have compassion and seek to understand where they're coming from, what created that belief they have, or the points. They may have some valid points on a way forward. You don't ever have to agree, but if you try and understand them, they sense that. The other person understands if you're just trying to think about your next point to drill your point home, or if you really care to hear what they have to say. They sense that, they feel that in your energy, and it opens the conversation up to actually, creating something and, moving forward instead of just stalling out an argument.
That makes a lot of sense. So tell me about this idea to agree on an end goal with maybe someone that you share a differing viewpoint with, but not necessarily having a predetermined path to get there. What might that look like?
So this is so important because most of us, if you drill back far enough, can come up with common goals. And you may have to take it up a level. You may be arguing about a goal, but if you go up a level, you may actually have the same goal because we're all very similar in our needs and our basic desires. And if you can agree on that, then you start out with something that you can work toward, like together. And the thing is, if you have the common goal decided on, everyone gets bogged down in arguing about the how. But frequently, it is a combination of those different ideas on how that ends up being the best concept. So, shifting the paradigm that, well, first of all, we have to be right, but secondly, that there's just one right answer, and one of these two people have to win. Frequently, there's three or four or five different possibilities at least, and it's a combination of those that ends up being, creative and the best way forward or the best way to start. And that's the other thing. We have to stay flexible when we're trying to get to a goal because we don't know what's going to bring success. And we have to test and we have to tweak and be willing to admit, okay, we tried my idea and it's not working as I thought. What else can we do? So it's just being open to trying to make it to the end goal and not having to be right that will help us create progress.
Right, we're almost out of time, but that kind of circles back to a point you made earlier that listening to somebody's ideas doesn't mean you always agree with them, and just kind of getting that context, maybe that can lead you to the more complicated answer that could suit everybody in the situation versus this is right and that's wrong, because that's just not really the way our world works most of the time anyway.
Absolutely. And it's the power of the mastermind. When you bring ideas together, so often we create something better together than we can think about on our own. So
That's
just remembering it's the mastermind and that synergy that helps us pave the way forward. None of us actually know the right answer.
that's a great way to look at it. Hey, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. It was great chatting with you.
Same here. Thanks for having me.
Of
Have a great
course.
afternoon.
The book again is Hope for a New Era, and we'll have more information on our website at katu.com. We'll be right back with more Afternoon Live right after this.